All right, let's be real for a second. Do you ever feel like you're just throwing content out there, just hoping something, anything will stick? Yeah, you're definitely not alone. But today, we're going to change all that. We are moving away from guesswork and into a proven formula that builds real, actual confidence. So let's dive in. So this number, 5%, this is the reality for most creators. It's the chance of actually finding real success online. That's basically like playing the lottery, knowing that 95% of the tickets are losers. It's a really tough game to play. But what if I told you there's a way to rig that game completely in your favor? I mean, just imagine it. What if you could stop flipping that coin every time you post? What if you could create content knowing, with almost certainty, that it's going to work? That's what we're talking about today. We're building a system that gives you that unbreakable confidence. So how do we actually build this kind of confidence? Well, it's not about being the most creative person or just getting lucky. Nope. It's about having a system. Think of it like baking a cake, right? If you follow the recipe, you know you're gonna get a delicious cake. The exact same principle applies here. And just look at the difference in energy here. On the left, you've got guessing. That's the frustration zone. It's where you feel inconsistent, and honestly, it's just exhausting. But on the right, that's knowing. That's where you're riding a wave of momentum, all because you have a system you can count on. And this right here, this is the entire goal, to get so dialed in that success stops being a lucky accident and becomes a predictable outcome. That is where real, unshakable confidence comes from. Okay, so I don't want you to think this is all just theory. I've lived this, so I'm gonna pull back the curtain on one of my own TikTok accounts and show you the exact post, the one video that completely changed the game for me. I mean, just look at these numbers. It's insane. 1.7 million views from a single TikTok. That wasn't just a viral video. It was the video that built the entire account. Seriously, this one post brought in most of my followers, most of my likes. It's proof that one right move can change everything. So you're probably asking, okay, how'd you do it? Well, it was a 3-part plan. First, I broke the story down into parts like a mini-series to keep people coming back. Second, I went into absolute beast mode and posted a new part every 45 minutes for 2 straight days. Yeah, I didn't sleep. And third, when one part took off, I studied it like a hawk to figure out why. But here's where it gets really, really interesting. I tried to do the exact same thing again. Same format, same style, another horror story. And the result? A total flop. We're talking 4,500 views. This is the ultimate proof that it's not about one single trick. It's about the whole system and knowing exactly what your audience wants from you. And this brings us to a huge concept I call audience conditioning. See, my audience got used to one thing: animated horror stories. So when I tried to switch it up and post about affiliate marketing, they were just confused. Imagine your favorite pizza place suddenly only selling sushi. You'd be like, what's going on? That's what I did to my audience, and my reach just tanked. Okay, enough about my experiments. Let's look at how these rules apply to someone who is an absolute master at this stuff. We're gonna put a top marketer, Beverly Samuel, under the microscope and really deconstruct what makes her Instagram page so successful. Right off the bat, her profile is just a masterclass. But the most powerful part, look at this line: 6 figures from my phone. Boom. In just 5 words, she tells you what she does and what you could do too. That is crystal clear, benefit-driven positioning. It's perfect. Now, check out this hook from one of her best videos. Just $50 an hour. It's pure genius because it's not a crazy, unbelievable number. It's relatable. It feels achievable. And that makes you stop scrolling and think, wait a minute, I could do that. It's the perfect bait. And what's the payoff for that perfectly relatable hook? Bam, 17,000 likes. That is the power of understanding the psychology of your audience. A simple, believable promise leads to a massive result. And that's a formula you can absolutely use. This chart tells the whole story. Remember that audience conditioning thing? This is it in action. Look, when she posts about side hustles, the engagement is through the roof. But when she posts general motivational stuff, crickets. Her audience has been trained to want one specific thing from her. So let's just break down the psychology really quick. Putting text at the top of the screen grabs attention immediately. Framing income as an hourly rate feels way more real than a big weekly number. And here's a huge tip. Don't call people out. Instead of saying, but you keep scrolling, empower them. It's a small shift in tone that makes a world of difference. Okay, we have analyzed the data, we've looked at the pros. Now, it is your turn to take action. I have a challenge for you, something you can start literally right now, and I promise it's going to change how you think about creating content forever. So, here's your mission. I want you to go on Instagram and find 3 of your top competitors. You're going to become a content detective, analyze their winning posts. What hooks are they using? What formats? What styles? And then you're going to steal their secrets like an artist. Now, this is the key. You're not just trying to be a copycat here. Your job is to find that perfect sweet spot between what's proven to work in your niche and what you are actually comfortable creating over and over again. Because if you hate doing it, you're going to burn out. That's the secret to sustainability. So let this be your new mantra. Study what's already working. See the patterns. Then pick a style that you can repeat. That is how you stop gambling with that 5% chance and start creating with near 100% confidence. So, I'm going to leave you with this question. After you do your research, what is the #1 pattern you see that you can start testing today? Is it a new hook, a different video style? Whatever it is, I want you to go find it and try it. That's how you'll discover your own winning formula.
They keep telling you, stay motivated. Watch this. Listen to that. Get inspired. But what happens when the video ends? When the music fades? When nobody's clapping, watching, or waiting for you to win? What moves you then? I used to run on borrowed energy, quotes, speeches, people hyping me, yeah. Felt unstoppable for a moment, then I'd crash, like it was never in me. That's the problem with external fuel. It burn quick, don't last, don't rule. You dependent on a source outside, so when it disappears, so do you. I was chasing feelings, not building fire, waiting to feel ready instead of climbing higher. But readiness ain't a mood you catch, it's a discipline you wire. So I had to ask myself something different. If nobody ever told me keep going, would I answer that honestly? I realized purpose don't scream, it whispers. It ain't in the crowd, it's found in the mirror. It ain't in applause or validation checks. It's in what you do when there's nothing to flex. Motivation temporary, purpose permanent. One phase away, the other's inherent. You don't wake up feeling it every day, but purpose don't care how you feel anyway. It moves through you even when you're tired, even when life feels misaligned and wired. It's that quiet push you can't explain. Let's say do it again through the doubt and pain. So I stopped asking how do I feel and started asking what's real, what's mine to build, what's mine to create. That's when I found something stronger than fate. I don't need a reason, I am the reason. I am the reason. I don't need the feeling, I don't need the feeling. I move with meaning. No more waiting, no more waiting, no more chasing, no more chasing. Internal driver, that's what's leading. Yeah. Now I move like it's already decided. No hesitation, no need to be guided. I built a system inside of my soul that don't break down when I'm losing control. External noise don't shake my direction. I learned to operate without the connection. Not disconnected but self-sustained. Energy internal, never drained. I don't need hype, I don't need cheers. I done built this through blood, sweat, tears. Every rep carved into my frame. Now discipline calling me by name. This is what it look Like when purpose drive, you ain't just working, you feel alive. Even in struggle, there's something deeper. You not just moving, you moving with meaning. Listen close. Purpose don't shout, it pulls. It don't beg, it demands. And once you feel it, you can't go back. There's gonna be days you don't feel like it. Do it anyway. There's gonna be days you question everything. Keep going anyway. Because the ones who make it ain't the most motivated. They the most committed. To something deeper than motivation. That's what's leading. When the world go quiet, when the noise disappear, when nobody's watching, that's when you find out if you really got it, or if you was just borrowing it.
Relying on Instagram reach is like building on sand. One algorithm flip and you're gone. Start with one hyper-specific lead magnet that solves a single tiny result in 10 minutes. Create a $7 micro offer that complements the lead magnet and converts cold readers into paying customers. Use a 3-email funnel. Teach, prove, ask with a one-click checkout for the micro offer. Run a small paid test and one targeted organic push to validate the funnel before scaling spend. Add an onboarding sequence that asks 2 engagement questions and tag subscribers by answer. Scale the winners and double down on the list segments that buy or open most. If you want the roadmap to what I'm doing, drop hustle in the comments and I'll send you the details.
I give you food for action, don't choke on the truth. This lesson I prepare was made just for you. Feast up, I'll keep serving till the pot run dry. Got enough cooking to feed the whole country, no lie. Too many flavors, you know, I got what you like. Don't start beefing with me, you won't win this fight. If you come in peace, keep your teeth intact. I got a plan to get this cake, come grab a stack. Life could be sweet, if you listen, you'll see. Food for action on a platter, served fresh by me. I'm serving knowledge on plates, got the recipe down. A blend of hustle and wisdom, that's my sound. I'm feeding the masses, no crumbs, full course. But if you bring nothing to the table, find the door. Stop acting like you got beef, it won't taste right. This flavor's reserved for those ready.
Okay, family, we are live. We are live. And once again, I want to welcome you guys back to another episode of the Hustlers 10-Minute a Day Challenge. Now, today, I started off a little bit rocky. My streaming and everything, I wasn't on point today as normal. I have to be honest. I have a lot of things on my mind, a lot of good things on my mind. So I'm constantly I'm playing things back in my mind. I'm thinking about what it is that I want to accomplish. And sometimes as we peel back the curtain, right? Sometimes I get into the habit of getting so caught up with a idea, a dream, a concept that, you know, just like anybody, maybe you've experienced this before. You're so caught up with something that you're thinking about the big picture, but you forget to do the little actions, to do the little things that make the big picture possible. So this morning I'm sitting thinking about what I want to do today, what I actually got accomplished yesterday, and I forgot to do something simple as open up my YouTube channel and hit create and hit go live. Now, I use OBS to stream on multiple platforms. So, of course, I have OBS up because that's primary. And I started off the live stream. I clicked start streaming. I clicked the button to start streaming on YouTube also. I clicked it within OBS, but I forgot to open up the YouTube page itself and click go live. So right now a weird thing is occurring because I'm looking at the YouTube um, section on my OBS and the time is still counting up. It's acting as if it's connecting and it's streaming to YouTube, but I know it's not because I don't have the page up. But instead of me just pressing the stop button, I'm just looking at it. It's still going. It says it's at 16 minutes now, right? So of course, let me continue the intro, right? Because we just got a little off track with that also, right? I just jumped right in. But today is strong 54, day 4, and we are right at 16 minutes into today's challenge, right? So yesterday also I did something. I wanted to refresh your memory. If you're new to, the Hustlers 10 Minute a Day Challenge, and you're not sure exactly what we do here, yesterday's live is a great one for you to go back to and watch because I went through the challenge itself. I went through a good portion of it, let's say about 75% of the challenge, right? So we created our song, we got a hit song out of it, and we did that in a great time. And that's why we call it the Hustlers 10 Minute a Day Challenge, because it shouldn't take you any more than 10 minutes to actually complete the challenge. Matter of fact, if you're not like me and you didn't have to, talk through it and give instructions and things like that, you probably could complete the challenge in about 5 minutes, depending on, you know, if you're already familiar with how it goes, and you can simply copy and paste, and be able to get what you need done. So if you are really interested in taking part in the challenge on a daily basis, you know, that's why this right here is the most valuable document in all of online marketing because it gives you the blueprint. All you have to do is scroll through, access the links to the respective places that you need to go in order to complete the challenge, and you will be all set. And this right here is a free challenge. So you don't have to pay for the document and you don't have to pay for the particular tools that we use. But if you choose that you want to use more of the premium features on the particular tools that we use, then you can access that. But that's all up to you. But you can do this challenge completely free. So today, we know today is Thursday. It's what I call Action Taking Thursday. And I always want to give you guys some actions that you can take in order to make yourself more successful, in order to help you build your online business. Now, in that beginning intro training, it talked about content creation, right? It talked about something that's very, very important, and that's going to take up about, let's say, depending on how you do it, for the majority of people, content creation could be taken up as much as 90% of your time. And that is if you're, let's say, like me, and you like to create content from scratch. You're having the text, you're creating the visual. If it's a picture or even if it's a video and you're taking time to edit that and do various things. If you're really having fun with the process and you really want to create something that you're proud of, it could take you a little while. Now, on the other hand, there's ways that you can automate that process and make it a lot simpler and easier. And you can actually create some basic content, maybe just some pictures. Maybe that could be your sole way of content creation, just like they said in that intro training. Find what works for you, basically. Find your specific niche and style, and then start attracting people based off of that. And then don't change, just like I said in the training, right? Now, of course, my AI business partner, she was telling you guys of a story, and she said that that was her personal story of how she built her TikTok account. But of course, it wasn't her particular story. It was actually my story that I told to her or told to the AI, and it was reinterpreted for various viewpoints to be able to help you get clarity in a different way from when I actually originally presented the information, right? So that's what it was designed to do. As it mentioned in the video, it talked about a form of split testing, posting one particular video and chopping it up, having it posted, seeing what works, seeing what people responded to, and then posting another type of video that was similar and seeing if you get the same response and continuing on the process, right? So we actually do or practice what we preach, right? I give you a training such as today. I'm giving you some valuable information right now. Now, what I'll do also in order to help drive the message further uh, and make it even clearer to help you get more clarity is I may take the transcript from this particular live and I'll plug it into my AI tool of choice and communicate with my AI business partner about it. Hey, here's the transcript. This is what I taught and this is what I talked about. I want you to interpret this and give your own specific interpretation of it. Now, that brings us to one interesting article that I saw as I pulled up one of my favorite tools, which is absolutely free. If you have a laptop, desktop, this should be absolutely free. And this is the new tab section. So as I pull up the new tab section, it shows various articles and shows various pieces of helpful information. And I'm scrolling through and I see this one particular article right here, right? And I opened it up just to get a little idea of what it was about. And it's a pretty interesting story. And I want to talk to you guys a little bit about it, but it's not the main focus. But it says here, I left a Google job I loved. It was scary to leave, but even scarier to stay. Now, why? Why? Why did they leave the job? Why was it scary? And why was it even scarier to stay? This title right here is a strong title and it has a strong hook factor because it leaves you wanting the answers to, three separate situations. Said, I left a Google job I loved. Okay, maybe she might talk about what she loved about the Google job, or if you loved it, why did you leave, right? Says it was scary to leave. Why was it scary to leave? I want to know why. And but even scarier to stay. Why was it even scarier to stay? That's a few different, you know, hooks, few different things that might get the prospective person, the target audience to click on this to see why was these, these various points the case. And so I want to just click on that so that we can talk a little bit about it. I had scrolled through a little bit just a couple of minutes ago just to get an idea of what this was about. And it's pretty interesting. And there's one thing in particular that stood out. So, this young lady right here, she's sitting here. She looks like she's comfortable. She has a mug in her hand, probably drinking some coffee or some tea. She looks relaxed. She has a laptop on the desk right there. And you can tell that she's into technology. You can look and see, hey, she has a badge on her. She has the laptop. This indicates that, hey, she does something with computers or online, period, right? Might be a social media influencer, something like that. But as we get into it, It tells a great story right off top, and it gives the answers. It gives the answers. And it relates to, and it ties into even that beginning training that we just listened to. So it says, and I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly, Ashna Doshi started a podcast while working as a software engineer at Google. The podcast helped her build relationships with founders, executives, and tech leaders. She left Google in May to pursue an AI startup because staying felt scarier than leaving. So, right off top, we got a great amount of information that's very, very helpful. Now, it might answer some of the questions in just this, but you might not see that it does answer the questions until you start to read more of the article and you see, oh, that's what that was referring to. That's part of the answer to the question. But right off top, it says that she started a podcast while working as a software engineer at Google. So she did something that few people ever do and that a lot of people might be interested in, and that's starting a podcast, which we know that there's a lot of popular podcasts out there, and podcasts are one of the best things or the best tools that you can use in order to build an audience of people that are like-minded, people that are, attracted to you first and foremost, a place where you can actually build know, like, and trust with people. And then once when you build that, you can actually turn that into something monetizable. So whether it's through views or whether it's through advertisements and product placements, and as she said here, she was able to build relationships with founders, executives, and tech leaders. And she ended up leaving Google because staying felt scarier than leaving. All right, so let's scroll through just to see if we could get a little bit more clarity on as to what actually occurred. So it says here that she took a big risk to get her Google job. Now she's taking another one by leaving it. She took a big risk. So around February 2024, months before graduating from Georgia Tech, okay, so 2024, let's think back to 2024. And she was in college, Georgia Tech, and a great school. 2024 was a time where, AI and technology was, you know, just really starting to take off. People were starting to use the buzzwords AI and things like that was just coming up. So she was just about to graduate right before this big bubble, this big, you know, um, thing that we call AI was about to take off. So she positioned herself. Well, she you can say that she was born at the right time, and she went through her college education at the right time. And then she received a full-time job offer from Google, right? But there was a problem. So here's where she faced the problem. Some people, would be lucky to face this type of problem. Others, it might be, a hard decision to make. But it says that the offer was an engineering role based in California, but she really wanted to work in New York City. Two different two different coasts, right? Two different sides of the country. So it says here, in a tech job market that had become more challenging for many of my peers, no opportunity could be ignored. Even so, I decided to place my bets and turn the offer down. So this right here says a lot, and we don't know specifically why it became more challenging for many of her peers, but maybe we can get a good idea of why it became a challenge. So a tech job market at a time where AI and various things related to AI was starting to kick off, things started to become challenging, right? So this goes back to what we've been talking about when it comes to the struggles of Gen Z. Now, I believe that depending on, Just looking at all the clues, if she just graduated from college, right, around that time, more than likely she's in the age range of she's under 28, I would assume. So that would put her in the Gen Z category. So we understand after, you know, our recent research and things that we've discussed, why Gen Z have certain issues, the problems that they've been facing, and the things that's caused them to struggle, right? So she's experienced that. So we know that we're on track with our studies, right? With the things that we're learning about. So that should give you confidence. That should give you confidence in a few things. Knowing that you're in the right place at the right time with the right person to educate you and teach you about things that are legitimately going on so that you can, use that information and apply it to whatever you need to apply it to. So it's all about you using the information and being able to, use it for your benefit. So she was one of those people, and we can probably safely say once again that she's a Gen Z representative that was facing similar issues that we know Gen Z um, people often face. So it was a challenge for some of her peers, and no opportunity could be ignored. Now, the reason, of course, no opportunity could be ignored is because that generation is struggling. Some companies don't even want to hire a Gen Z person due to how they feel about the personalities or the different stigmas about Gen Z. So we know what the challenges are. But even so, she decided to place her bets and turn the offer down. So she took a big risk. But it says here the risk paid off. 2 months later, she accepted a software engineering role at Google based in New York City. So where she wanted to be, she was able to get a engineering role. But then she says she didn't realize she'd take an even bigger risk when a side project started around the same time and would eventually push her to leave Google altogether. So here it is. Put this right here in bold. So it says, I wanted something creative outside of coding. So creative. That word right there grabs me because I like being creative. I like, hands on. I like tech. I like actually putting in the work. So she wanted something creative. And it says overall, she really enjoyed her experience at Google. She was learning every day and meeting a lot of smart people from diverse backgrounds. So she was networking. She was building up her communication skills, which is something else that we talk about that is very, very important in building your online business. And not only just building your online business, talking to people on a day to day basis, but also communication skills. If you can talk to a person and explain your viewpoint and have a good back and forth conversation with them, then you can use those same skills to apply it and have conversations with AI and tech so that you can get the best results out of it, right? So there's a lot of value in this. But it says, but working as a software engineer is a heavy technical job, and she wanted something more interactive and creative outside of sitting at her desk. Understandable. Understandable. So this is where we get into it, and it ties back into the intro. So it says that she loved meeting people, hearing their stories, and learning from them. She sounds a lot like me. I like meeting people. I'm not really an extrovert type of person. I don't like going out and, you're not going to find me at a bar and a club and stuff like that, meeting people like that. But I do like to meet people online and connect with them and make as much of a human connection as possible, not just through messaging, but if we can do like a video, I would love to be able to do videos and be able to see a person's face and talk and communicate. So I love meeting people also. I love hearing people's stories because that's what helps me help them. And I've talked to you guys about this and about a few of my masterclass sessions where I hear people that are struggling in specific areas in their online marketing. And one of the main things they struggle in is content creation. What are they going to create? What are they going to say? This, that, and the third. How do they actually promote this business? And then I'll tell you guys that what usually makes me smile is when they start to talk about themselves, what they are, what they were doing before they started this industry, what they're actually skilled at, what they, have a passion for. And hearing those stories allows me to give them a better perspective. Oh, so before this, you were into cooking, you were a chef, you were this, that, the third. Well, that's something that you should or could jump into a little bit more heavily in your content creation. Talk about the things that you're passionate about so that you can build that know, like, and trust with your audience first, as we stated. And then you can actually, you know, bridge the gap between what you used to do and what you currently do to help them make that jump point with you and help them want to be a part of your ongoing journey. So, and she says she loves learning from them, which eventually sparked the idea for starting a podcast. So in early 2025, while she was still working at Google, she started the Zero to One podcast with her co-host, who was a software engineer in big tech. Now, I'm not going to go through the whole article, but that right there pretty much sums up and answers all of the questions for me. It answers those hooks that was given in that, in the title of this article. She left Google, a job that she loved. Why did she love it? Well, she loved it because she was able to connect with people, talk to people, meet executives, get different perspectives. And it was scary to leave. Why? Why? Because she's part of a generation, a Gen Z generation where, they're already struggling. It's already hard for them to come up and be able to get things going already. And opportunities for them are seemingly few and far between. So, as she said, her peers were struggling, and she just happened to get the opportunity that most people would have possibly dreamed of, but she turned it down because it wasn't in the location, partly because it wasn't at the location that she wanted. She wanted to be in New York, but the job was in California, and it was scary to leave with a, well, actually, this one right here, scary to leave, that wasn't the job that she actually turned down. The job that she turned down was the one that she actually took, which was the tech position in New York. But that was scary to leave because she had the job already. She was already connecting, right? And she was doing her thing. And you, who knows what you're going to find if you leave a major company like Google. It's not too many places higher up that you're going to go. It's like the next step you would think would be a little bit farther down. You're not going to get too much better than Google. And that's why that would be one of the reasons why it would be scary to leave a situation like that. But it was even scarier to stay. It was scarier to stay because it reminds me of my situation. When I left corporate in 2018, I left a company that was amazing. I was surrounded by great people. The job itself wasn't too complicated. It had its stressful situations, but the things around it made it something that I enjoyed. I couldn't imagine working with a better group of people. I couldn't imagine having better supervisors or anything like that. But it was scary for me to stay because I had found something else that I loved and I was passionate about so much, and I wasn't able to live my dream in doing that. And it was scary just thinking that, if I leave here, where's my security? And as she says, she loved meeting people, loved hearing their stories and learning from them. And she had to follow her passion, basically. Her passion was based off of what she liked and loved to do. So she started a podcast while she was still working there. And sometimes when it comes to doing what you have to do as compared to doing what you want to do, one thing takes, you know, precedent over the other. And you have to make a decision. And obviously, she found a way to make this situation, what she liked and loved to do, the podcast situation, a profitable and enjoyable one, which helped make the decision to leave a little bit easier. It made it easier. Now, it didn't take away the fear or make it less scary, because even when I decided to leave my uh, corporate job, it was scary. I was excited and I was scared at the same time. And even the first couple of weeks after leaving, I was nervous because I didn't have everything in line and in order to fill what that job had actually provided for me, which was the financial aspect, the thing that everybody needs. You need to be able to make money, but that job didn't give me, that other aspect of life that I wanted, the enjoyment, the freedom that I craved so much. So it was a challenge. It was scary. But for you, you might be facing a situation where you have to determine what it is that you really want to do as compared to what it is that you feel as though you have to do. You might feel like you're stuck in one particular situation and that you have to stay there, but you can possibly be like this young lady here and other individuals that have, taken certain risks, that have decided that they're going to turn down specific opportunities that might lead them to a lot of financial success, but it's not giving them everything that they want personally. And you might have to make a decision that you're going to step out and take action on what it is that you really have a passion for. And learning, and that's why you're here in the hustle verse, right? Because you want to find a way to learn how to turn those things that you want to do into a profitable type of situation. And that's why you're here. So with that, I know I said I didn't want to dive too much into this particular article, but we did spend a lot of time here, and I hope that it was very valuable. And I didn't want to take up too much of your time today on Action Taken Thursday, because I want you to not just listen. I don't want you to just hear. I want you to do both. I want you to hear what I'm saying, and I want you to listen to what I'm saying so that you can take action on the information you receive. I want you to first start taking action by starting off with the most valuable document in all of online marketing. The link to this document should be in the description of this video, where you can get access to what I consider to be one of the primary sources, one of the foundational skill sets that you'll need in order to start helping you live your dream. So you get access to that by clicking on what I consider to be the second line in the document, which says grab your mega link, and that will give you the entry point to start learning the skills. Now, also, yesterday I created something and I shared it. Um, I want to give away some fun creative bonuses. And one of those bonuses is in the realm of what we do here on a regular basis, right? And that's the basis of the challenge is to create music. So yesterday I announced that I'm giving away this free pack right here, this free instrumental pack. Now, this right here is a dark thriller cinematic instrumental pack, right? And yesterday I was saying about how, I put in the text, download 25 dark cinematic instrumentals. But then when I looked at the pack, right, my numbers was a little bit off, right? I didn't think about it when I was creating the landing page too much. I had less than 25 instrumentals on there, but I said instead of changing, the website, let me just add more instrumentals. So I made sure that I delivered on what was being promised in the particular landing page. So it says 25, and that's what I'm going to deliver. So this instrumental pack will give you 25 dark thriller cinematic instrumentals that you can use. It says here, like on this graphic, right? 100% free, limited time only. So I want you guys to have it because this helps with one of the main things that every content creator or online marketer has to do, and that is create content. And one of the biggest challenges that most online marketers face is that they want to use music, and a lot of times they feel like the only music that they can use is like the music that's suggested, that's in a particular app, music from another artist and things like that. And when you do that, you can run into issues where you can run into copyright issues, right? Or it could be a song that they allow you to use, and then once when you start getting traction on your videos, you start getting views, you'll get a message. And it happens a lot on Facebook. You'll get a message saying, hey, you are sharing royalties with this particular company because you're using a song that's copyrighted, right? So we want to help you avoid that particular issue so that you don't have to be nervous about creating content, using music in your background, and you can create something that's a little bit more creative, right? So you can do your 1 minute videos and you can have some background music. Now, this right here, a dark thriller cinematic, you might not use that in a motivational type video, but if you're creative, you can find ways to use this type of instrumentals in some type of ads, type of content. Maybe you might want to use it to create something for a potential client, because of course the skills that we learn here aren't just strictly designed for you to use them within whatever I suggest. It's designed for you to see what I have to offer, and once again, just like the information, for you to be able to apply it to whatever it is that you want to. Maybe you love, horror stories, such as what was talked about in that beginning training. I was sharing and posting horror videos, right? And that's what allowed me to get over 1.7 million views and build up a TikTok account, which is at 31,000 followers currently, right? That's a whole niche. People love horror. I love horror. But what if you could find a way, if you were a good writer and you wrote your own horror stories and you decided that, hey, your niche would be just narrating the horror stories that you wrote, or you might be able to find some Creative Commons stories, some stories that's already been written and that you can personally have the right to. And your job is, because you have, made me think of that radio personality or that guy that was popular years ago, the one that they called the man with the golden voice, right? And they had him on TV shows and everything. They interviewed him because his voice was so distinct. And they said that, hey, they called him the man with the golden voice. Maybe you have a golden voice and you want to apply that to doing narration, and maybe specifically narration to horror stories. And you can create your own series of horror stories. And now you have instrumentals as the background music to those stories. That's what we do here in the Hustleverse. We teach and we help people find clarity so that they can create a creative and enjoyable lifestyle based around what they like and love to do. So with that, if you want access to this right here, all you have to do is just comment dark, and I'll send you access to this specific link, and you'll be able to get these instrumentals. And with that, I'm going to keep my promise. I'm not going to keep you guys too long because there's some work that I need to do. There's some work that I want to do, that I'm excited to do. Some content creation that I want to do. And this is what gets me excited. I'm going to be petty for just a second. And I want to ask you, are you part of a business currently, or you're doing something that really doesn't excite you, that really just feels like a job, that really feels like, hey, it's something that you have to do because you feel as though this is the only way that I'm going to learn. This is the only way that I'm going to be able to make money online, but it's something that completely bores you. If you're part of a situation like that, I want to encourage you to connect with me so that we can work through that situation and find an enjoyable, fun, and creative way for you to build a profitable business that you like and love at the same time. You don't have to be bored to death. You don't have to be part of mundane activities every single day that leave you feeling like, yeah, it's cool for me to show up to, but I don't know anybody else that would really want to join me in this, because my friends and my family and people that I know, they would think this is corny. So it makes you not want to even share or post about it. A lot of people have this thing, and it might be a subconscious feeling that they know that they're struggling with the situation. They know that they're having a hard time in a situation. They know that they're not really enjoying what they're doing. So they really don't have the passion for sharing it with somebody else. And it shows in their content creation. It shows because they're not as creative. They're just copy and pasting something that somebody else did and sharing it and hoping that it takes off. They're just going through the motions because they have no real feelings, no real passion behind the business itself. And you need that. You need to be passionate, because people can recognize passion in you. And they can recognize if you're living a life that you really enjoy, they want to live a life that they enjoy also. And part of doing that is seeing that reflected in somebody else, knowing that, hey, a person like me, I love waking up every morning, creating content that I choose to create, speaking to an audience that I choose to speak to. And then, I can go on with the rest of my day doing what I want. But even after I do this live, I'm getting back to the work because I love it and I enjoy it. And this is what I do day in, day out. And it's nothing else that I would rather do. So hopefully you feel that and you understand that, and you want to be connected with people that have the same passion for what it is that you signed up for. So once again, I appreciate you showing up. If you're watching live, put a 1 in the comment section. If you're watching on a replay, put a 2. Comment dark so you can get access. And also, be proactive. Take action on this Action Taking Thursday. Grab your mega link and get started on your online journey today. And with that, I'm going to fade to the back and we're going to close out like we always do. And I'll see you tomorrow in tomorrow's live.
Woke up to silence, dreams still heavy. Phone screen dry, but my vision stays steady. Mama said, baby, that job ain't your lane. But I clocked in anyway, chasing someone else's gain. That got me dancing with denial at night. Scrolling for hope, but it's hidden from sight. 10 minutes a day, sounded small at first, but in silence even whispers can quench a thirst. Notebook in hand, wrote my future in ink. Mapped out my mission before I started to sink. Every post was a prayer, every share had weight. I wasn't selling a link, I was shifting fate. I found my rhythm in the quietest place, where hustle meant healing and grind meant grace. From the corner of doubt, I carved my space. Legacy ain't loud, but it wins the race. 10 minutes a day, brick by brick, built from the bottom, now the vision stick. No hype, no cap, just clarity. This ain't just income, it's legacy. Every click, every song I create, etches my name where they can't erase. You can doubt, but you gon' see. 10 minutes a day, turned into legacy. People laugh, said she doing too much. Till my PayPal pinged, then they changed up the touch. No big brand, no six-figure crew, just a mic, some lyrics, and a dream that grew. Tired of waiting for the gatekeeper's call, so I built my own stage, held my own hall. Suno on deck, that's the beat in my chest. GPT spitting like I'm born to impress. Said I'd never make it, cool, noted. But now my bars turn pain into coated. From broken to branded, I ain't asked for fame, I asked for freedom and I claim my name. Now hustle berry on loop like healing chants, for the girls who grew up with limited chance. This is more than a challenge, it's breaking the chain. Cause 10 minutes a day rewired my brain. 10 minutes a day, brick by brick, built from the bottom, now the vision stick. No hype, no cap, just clarity. This ain't just income, it's legacy. Every click, every song I create, etches my name where they can't erase. You can doubt, but you gon' see. 10 minutes a day, turned into legacy. Now my daughter sees me different, eyes full of fire. She said, Ma, your words lift me higher. This ain't a hustle, this a heart-led path, where math meets message and message meets math. Community over clicks, value over hype. I ain't here to trend, I'm here to type blueprints for the ones still stuck in fear. Let them borrow my belief till their purpose clear. Haters still quiet, but I'm loud with grace. Posting in peace, not a mask on my face. Every bar I drop, every beat I write, I'm freeing the